I'm Dave Adams. I serve as the pastor of the Anaheim Baptist Fellowship in Anaheim, California. Been thinking a lot the last few days about dependencies. An actor that I like very much just passed away of an apparent heroin overdose. And it's had me thinking about dependencies and addictions that are very real and very much a part of people's lives. We all depend on something. But, something that I could admit that I'm dependent upon today, quite honestly, is the grace of God. I'm grace dependent. How about you? And by the word grace, I simply mean the undeserved favor and help of God. In fact, I can think of a few classic signs of grace dependency. The first of those is that you freely admit that there's no way you could be right with God apart from His grace. The second classic sign of grace dependency is that you're convinced in your heart that there's no way you could keep it all together in life if it weren't for God's grace. And the third telltale sign of grace dependence is that you find yourself asking God for help every day, sometimes several times a day. Those are some classic signs that you might be a grace-dependent person. Perhaps the most famous grace-dependent person was the Apostle Paul, who in the New Testament of the Bible just couldn't stop talking about grace and writing about it. For example, in Romans chapter 5, verse 20, Paul wrote, "But where sin abounded, grace abounded much more." Ephesians 2:7, Paul wrote that about God the Father, that in the ages to come He might show the exceeding riches of His grace and His kindness toward us in Christ Jesus. For by grace you've been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. Another profound statement of grace by Paul is in 1 Corinthians 15. Where he simply said, "But by the grace of God, I am what I am. And His grace toward me was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than they all. Yet not I, but the grace of God, which was with me." Paul was a grace-dependent person. I could say today, I'm a grace-dependent person. I could think of worse things that we might depend on in this world. How about you? Are you grace dependent? You could be, and I pray that you will be. May God bless you.